Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here, coming at you with a special edition of the show. Today we got KC Grand Tournament finalist Kernow King on the show. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks, guys.
And sitting with us today is going to be Kamel. How are you doing, buddy?
I am doing great, man, and it is a pleasure to be interviewing you, Cairo. I wouldn't, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh, listen to this guy
Just
losing his words over here. And if
well, well,
and if you're excited about this video like Kamel is, make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you'll know when we release other videos later this week. All right, so let's get right into it. If you guys don't know who Kernow King is, we call him Cairo. That was his name for the tournament, Kernow King. But Cairo, if you guys don't know, is a big supporter of the Performa Pals and Super Heavy Samurai system of dueling. So you might know him from those videos. And if you don't, he's been a player in the community for a while now, and we've always been big supporters of him. So we were super excited when we saw that he made the top 16. We did an interview with him then, and now he made it all the way into the finals of the Grand Tournament. And we're like, man, you got to come on the show and do an interview. So here we are. And I always like to start it off with, all right, it's the day of the finals. You wake up, what do you do?
Okay, so I'll take it back to the night before. I found out that I had to wake up at 4 a.m. my time. I didn't know that that was going to be the case. But like, yeah, you have to be up at 12 p.m. Japanese time, and I was like, oh, that's fine. And I realized that was 4 a.m. So I was pretty upset about that.
Okay.
I was going to spend my evening. I was going to spend my evening before just like practicing all night, and I was like, no, I'm just going to sleep.
Okay.
So yeah, I woke up at 4 in the morning, and they had to check my camera to see it was working, and everything like that. And one of the very first things that Konami asked me is they were like, "Why is it so dark?" And I was like, "Because it's 4 in the morning." So yeah, that happened, and then it just had to go through some like stuff with Konami, obviously because they wanted to show our faces in the top 4 and bits. And some initiation process, and that happened until about 8 o'clock on and off for about 4 hours. So I was just trying to calm my nerves and like stay awake for the first 4 hours of the day. And then yeah, the game started at 8 in the morning, my time.
Okay, question. Now, you already you have a camera, obviously. Did you have to get one? And if you're a competitor that didn't have one, did they provide one, or did you have to shell out and get your own?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they provided one. From memory, I think there were other players that asked to have one sent, and they did. They did provide.
Okay.
I just have one laptop, which I thought would be fine, and luckily it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they force you to buy your own.
Okay. All right. So, important question I'm always going to ask, what'd you have for breakfast, buddy? Because this determines the whole, like, how you're going to play for the whole day. Did you eat smart food or did you eat dumb food? What'd you eat that day?
Um, I when I got up at 4 in the morning, I wasn't really feeling breakfast.
Right.
So
Right.
I just had like an apple, which is really boring.
Smart food. No, that gets you going. That's the sugar. That's the natural sugars, man. It gets you pumped, gets you ready to go.
And then like when I could stomach food at about 7, I just had some like toast, and some yogurt. Just like
That's all
you know,
smart food. So you didn't eat anything that make you logy or slow you down. You didn't like put a big bunch of food in your belly so you'd be tired in an hour. See, right there,
all
boys and
your
girls.
all your neurons were going.
Yeah, right there, boys and girls. From a finalist in the KCGT, sensible breakfast.
yeah.
All right. So top
And
16 starts at what, 8 o'clock your time?
yeah. Top 16 started at 8 o'clock my time, and it was just me in the flat. My girlfriend very kindly left and stayed with a friend
Oh,
overnight
that's the only reason you're still together. That's the only reason you guys are still together right now.
I think we sort of had a discussion a couple of days before, and we were like, it's probably easier if it's just me in the house, especially because I had to wake up at 4 a.m. So yeah, yeah, it was just me, and like we started yeah 8 in the morning, just as it was getting light outside, which was
Because
nice.
it would be totally, you're like right in the middle of a match and it's just heated, and she'll walk up, "Hey, how you doing, honey? Leave me alone!" Right?
I'm playing dudes.
She's, I'm
she was
sorry.
around
I'm sorry.
God, she's gonna watch this. She was around in the first stage, and I basically was just in the other room the entire time. Someone knocked on the door.
Oh no!
For like the final game of, so I would already qualified. It was 5-0, so it was to go 6-0, and someone knocked on the door. And she came to let me know, and I was like, I am not answering the door. So yeah, no, it was just me this time.
Yeah, that's smart.
Which worked out well. It meant I could scream when I was annoyed at the game and whatnot, and cheer when I was happy, and not annoy anyone else.
So who'd you play in the top 16?
My top 16 opponent was a Japanese player. I'm just making sure I pronounce his name correctly. It was Shuhei.
Satoshi. We played.
Okay, yeah, that was probably his name. I just go on his in-game Discord name. But yeah, Satoshi.
Okay, and then how'd that? Obviously, you won, but how was it? Was that nerve-wracking? Because it's the first game going in, right? You know what I mean?
Hugely nerve-wracking, and so obviously only ever. So there were 3 English-speaking people, all from the community, and that was myself, Zay King, and Dark Ragno. And me and Zay talked quite a lot before the event, and we both just sort of joked about how we expected our experience to be over in 10 minutes. Because that could happen, you know. You could prepare all this, and then you lose 2-0, OTK twice, and you can't do much. So I was incredibly nervous in the top 16 because I was like, I didn't do all of this just to lose straight away. But I drew pretty well. The exact opposite happened. I just had the good hands, and yeah, it was a success. I would say.
So I'll have the names to each opponent.
All right. So would you? What were your 2 decks? And did you go 2-0? So what were your 2 decks for that?
Yeah, I did. I went 2-0. I actually can't remember which order I went in.
It was all a blur.
I'll let you know right now. So it was Invoke Neos first, and then Blue Eyes.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the only game where Ritual Beast didn't feature. Just because I happened quite a lot to leave them as my final deck in case I had to rely on one. But yeah, I drew quite well. So I'd done a bit of. This was the only round that I really you can do research for, so you can check what your opponent used in the KC Cup and the Grand Tournament to get there in the first place. So I was expecting Crystron, which is what was used by the player for both stages. I didn't actually see that. I'm assuming that was the 3rd deck, though, which is why another reason I saved my Ritual Beasts for the end, because that's quite a strong matchup. Basically, expecting Crystron and Neos from my opponent made me and the decks the way that I did.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only person who ended up playing Crystron was Dark Ragno, right?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Unless Satoshi had it and did not use it, which I'm not sure about.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
All right, so after your top 16, you win. Are you moonwalking at this point, or are you still pretty calm about it?
I think that winning the top 16 2-0 was like, it settled my nerves really well, which was nice. And also, I think for so long, I freaked out about losing it straight away in top 16, it being really embarrassing, and everyone hyping me up and just to lose. Because I don't know if there was a prediction campaign, and I assume purely because my letter was A, I had 3 stars. I was the favorite to win, which was terrifying.
No, it's not because of your name. It's because we did a video on you, and it's all over the internets, and people recognize your name because of Duel Links Entertainment. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's and obviously like the community at whole just know who I am because I was one of the few English-speaking players. But for whatever reason, I had 3 stars, and I was like, wow, to get 3 stars and then to get knocked out in the top 16 2-0 would be so disappointing.
I mean,
As soon as I knew that wasn't going to happen, I was a lot calmer.
Usually, the outcome is the other way around. You know, so we're used to like the fan favorites getting knocked out in the first round.
Yep.
But you guys
Yeah, I expected. That's what I was expecting. You know, like deep down, I was like, had to wake up at 4 a.m. Been practicing for ages just to go out top 16. That was truly what I thought was going to happen, and it didn't. So as soon as it didn't, I would say that the top 16 was almost my most nervous match.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, getting right into it. All right, so you win top 16. How long do you have to wait? Are you just waiting for your next opponent, basically, or is there a delay? Like, oh, we're gonna take 30 minutes between rounds.
There was a delay. And I actually finished because I went 2-0. I finished quite a bit before my other opponent, so I got to watch some of their games on the stream, and which helpfully you guys streamed, so I didn't even have to watch it in the app. That was good. And then there was also it was delayed by a further 15 minutes to, I think, for everyone to have like a little break. So I'd say there was like a good half an hour, 40-minute period between my rounds.
Okay.
Which was nice. Give you a chance to calm down, regroup, and also think about how you're gonna do it for the next game.
Okay. So we're moving into the top 8 here. Did you get a snack, a glass of water? What'd you do? Did you have to go to the bathroom 100 times? I probably would have done that, you know. Oh, I think I gotta go.
Yeah. Water and bathroom. I didn't. One sort of mistake I made is after I had breakfast, I didn't really eat for the rest of the day until I finished. When I finished, I was like, "Oh man, I need to go get like a massive pizza or something." Which is what I did. But I didn't really eat anymore. So yeah, I just drank and sort of paced around my flat. Tried to listen to some music to calm down.
But your mind was probably just racing.
7 hours. That was like 7 hours.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Damn. Yeah.
All right, so we move into top 8 now. Kamel, who do you face off against?
So in top 8, you face against. I was just watching the replay, but the first game was the Ritual Beasts versus Witchcrafters, and I'll tell you the opponent right now. Fukusuke Miyazawa.
There you go. Okay, so how'd that go for you?
So that was a 2-0.
Yeah, that was my second and final 2-0.
That's how sad he sounded about that.
Yeah, it would have been nice just to play and sail all the way, but no, it got a bit tougher after. I would say that I've always explained the Witchcrafter Ritual Beast match in recent times as probably slightly favoured for the Witchcrafter player if both players know what they're doing. But if it's a matchup you're unfamiliar with, then Ritual Beasts has got like a lot of tricks and surprises, and it then becomes slightly favoured for me just because I know that matchup so well. I practiced it so much. I was sure that Witchcrafters were the best deck. I unfortunately couldn't play them because I missed the event where you could farm the card. So like I said, my strategy was against. I knew that my first opponent would play Christrons, and I had to be able to beat Witchcrafter. So yeah, I practiced with that, and this one I got really lucky because an addition that I made pretty last minute to my Ritual Beast deck, one that I'd not used before, was I put a Wall of Disruption in there. Well, I actually put 2 copies of Wall of Disruption.
Boy, Wall of D. That's right.
Which catches people off guard, and it certainly
always does. It
my
always
opponent
does.
off guard here because he summoned a Lila. I noticed there was no delay, and instead of killing my Wall of Disruption,
this was that game. Oh my god!
Yeah, he's honestly, game.
Honestly, look, that is amazing. Circus, can you actually get that? It's in the top 8. That clip is so good, actually, from the stream. Like,
all right, through the magic of the internets, we have it ready to go now. All right, you're gonna commentate this one here?
Yeah.
Right, we'll hit play on it here.
Okay. Yeah, so this was my Ritual Beast game, and he swung in with the Sandwich Draw, which was right, but then instead of switching the Lila before the battle phase, he decided to go in for game, and I had a Wall of Disruption.
Oh, okay.
So
right, let's go back a little bit here. He had an opportunity to use the Lila to pop your back row.
Yeah.
But he decided to get a little greedy and go for game.
Yeah, and I was truly, truly down and out if that happened. There was no way that I was coming
Yeah,
back.
that
So
was like a monumental like swing in your favor after that.
Okay.
yeah,
He's like, this is Worlds. I'm going in.
I'm going in. I'm winning worlds, baby.
I can
And then
understand.
the fat Wallaby, one card on the field. Oh my god. And I
I
like
can
how
understand.
he continues to attack. He's just like, screw this guy.
I can understand
Right,
what you can expect because it's Worlds. You think you've got lethal on board. You get really excited. Um, you think it's
Right.
your day. You won the first round. There's no delay. He has no idea I'm playing Wall of Destruction. But when at first I was like, if best case scenario is he attacks him with 2 monsters and doesn't switch to Lila, but he actually summoned a third monster, and that was when it went from best case scenario to like a heavenly scenario. I just couldn't really lose from there
Right.
because
Look at the rest of his board here. I mean, it's just wide open at this point, right?
yeah, Lila's going to be milling cards as well. There's just not much that can really go wrong from this point. To be fair, he did really, really well to get rid of his graveyard and extend the game for longer than I thought it was going to go on. I sort of thought would win in a couple of turns, but he really kept it together after swinging into the wall of D, and it made it quite a long and drawn out game.
Really?
But,
It just keeps going, huh?
yeah, it does not stop. It does not stop there. My deck. So yeah, we've talked about Ritual Beast a lot on here, but Ritual Beast can really suffocate some people out, and it did that here. Just slowly killed.
So your second deck was Invoke Neo, so you played it against Black Wings, it seems.
Yeah, and this was another. This is when I was like, oh man, I'm getting quite lucky today because Blackwings drew really well. It was like a god hand from Blackwings, but I just had all of the answers to the god hand, and I got to go first. So I had 2 back row ready for the push, and even when he CC'd 1, it wasn't enough. And I had my Neos early, so I could push through. And I also managed to get pretty lucky with top decking a CC at the right time to destroy Necro Valley. So everything just went right for me. It was a pretty perfect game from my end.
All right, let's see if we can get that top deck here. Feel like it's close.
It's the switcheroo right here, right? Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, just skipped it. All right, here it comes. Here it comes. And that's all you needed right there to get the victory.
Yeah, so the CC was huge because without getting to the graveyard, I couldn't get access to a Neos again. And I'd already discarded my Invoke early in the game because I didn't have a choice. So basically, there was no way I was going to be able to get over that Ancient Fairy Dragon without being able to get back to my graveyard. So CC was my only condition for winning there, and I managed to get it.
Nice. Was that when you drew that? Was it just like, let's go?
Yeah. I was sort of. I remember thinking, wow, this is pretty worrying. I don't even know what could save me. And then the CC came to my hand, and I was like, okay, that definitely gets me back into the game. Let's go. We can do this. And yeah, I just managed to edge it out from here. I think the Neos deck is really powerful. It's a deck that I've only picked up recently for this, but it's just very good at maintaining advantage as the game goes on because the volcanic shells are just constant fuel. Your discard traps are so high impact, and Neos has got some protection. The deck just functions really well together. It's a really powerful deck. I can see why it's doing well in tournaments right now.
All right, and how did you feel when Jules D264 subscribed? That was pretty clutch right there.
I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing it, but thanks, Jules, for giving me the boost.
That was huge, and did it because of the game you're playing, I'm sure. Let's see. Let's get to the end here where you finish him off. Finish him. There you go. Yeah. All right. So now you've done top 8. You're ready to go here. You're thinking now I'm moving into the semifinals. That's just got to be
oh
like,
my
oh
God,
my
like,
god.
what if the
Yeah,
final?
so semi-finals was crazy because, like I said, that's when they told us they would start. We had to be on camera while we were playing for all of our games, but that's when they said they would start streaming our faces, and that's when we've been on the official stream. And also, when you made top four, you knew you had guaranteed 2 games no matter what, because even if you lost, there was a third and fourth place playoff.
Right.
So you almost had 2 chances. You only had to win once to get top 3. You had 2 chances to do it. So it was really nice. Yeah, like I said, the nerves disappeared after qualifying for top 16, but then like the excitement kicked in after I finished top 8, because that was the first time I was like, wow, I can do well in this. Yeah, that was really happy. And I'd also won both of my games 2-0 at that point, so I was really pumped.
So are you like texting your girlfriend at this point, like, oh my god?
Yeah, between every round, I was texting my girlfriend, and like I said, I also had a few of my friends watching, and they had absolutely no idea what was going on, but they seemed to be enjoying it. They tuned into your stream, and obviously the chat was very supportive in your stream. I think they just found the whole thing hilarious and a bit surreal, which was how I felt at the time.
There were so many funny moments, like a couple of the plays that we saw before, and just like and the Mythiar like getting absolutely hyped, which we'll see. I don't know if you want to play the audio or not, but Mythiar just loses his mind.
Yeah, Mythiar is an animal when he gets excited. So, you wanted to watch the top 4 match too, right?
Well, there's one match in particular. So I lost my first game. The first game that I lost in the entire tournament was my first match in the top 4, and it was Neos against Black Wings, but Black Wings just opened too strong for me. I couldn't really do much about it. I don't think it's a very exciting game. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I lost. But,
well, we don't have to watch that.
No, it really wasn't. Like in the stream, like he had like the follow up to everything he did, and then he special summoned the boar at the end of his turn, and you were like,
forehead.
Yeah. I think I just thought when I saw the boar, I was like, no, I couldn't do anything here. But game 2 was Blue Eyes against Infernity. Only there to bring Infernity at the tournament.
So, did you watch his Infernity replays before this duel?
Yes. Oh yeah. No, his guy. Oh yeah.
And so you saw Win Karibo, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was why it was so clutch that I did that. I really studied all the replays, and I just noticed the Win Karibo. And from my end, he went first, and all he does is instantly, I mean, like 2 seconds haven't even gone. He's set one and passed. Yes. He just set one monster face down and passed. And my head, like, that has to be a Karibo. No one is that confident in a turn 1 play when it's just set one pass if it's not just a Karibo. And for those people that don't know, Infernities has a skill that really lets them pop off in their second turn. So their first turn is quite weak, but their second turn, they can clear your board and attack for thousands of points of damage. It's really, really bad to go into a second turn against them because there's a really good chance you OTK you. So I had to do something fast, but I had to work out how to win through a spear, not for spear Karibo, winged Karibo. And yeah, you can see in the game how I did it because I can't quite believe I managed to find the play. I sort of made it up as I went along.
Well, let me take a second here to get it queued up, and then you can tell us what's happening. Alrighty, so you're gonna tell us what's going on here. We'll get the video started.
Yeah. Okay, so I went second here.
Such a great opening animation. I love that. That was so cool how they did that for this one.
Yeah. It was pretty cool, and the game mats looked nice as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, I was going second in this duel, and that was their turn. So quickly, just set,
shoot,
end. And I had to think about my turn quite a lot because I had to card a consonants to draw into cards, and I actually think I did it twice. So my starting hand didn't really know what it was like until quite far into the game. And that's when I was like, right, I know that's a Win Karibo. I have to find a way to kill him this turn through a Win Karibo. which, for anyone that doesn't know, when Wind is sent to the graveyard, it stops you taking any battle damage for the rest of the turn.
Right.
So
you had to like do a dual puzzle, man. That's crazy.
Right, yeah.
yeah,
Konami was just like, yay!
Because of card of constants, I basically had access to like over half of my deck in one turn. So I really had I had all the cards I needed to. I could have done so many different plays. It was just working out the right one. And I knew what I had to do roughly, but I hadn't quite worked out all the logistics of it until I'd started doing everything, and I was like, and this will do that. And then I think it clicks. There's a period where I paused after, so I tribute this Cosmo Brain off, I summon a Blue Eyes, and then I used the skill to get an alternative Blue Eyes. And this was really interesting watching over your guys' stream, because you were all terrified that I was going to pop the winged Karibo.
Right, yeah, I remember that. People did freak out. Don't pop it, kiddo! Don't pop it!
Don't pop it, kiddo! Don't pop it!
And I made this play, I was like, you're going to pop it, oh no. And this was where I was thinking, I was like, right, how can I get around it? And I really paused for about 20 or 30 seconds to think the play through. But yeah, I saw that I could bring it back, and I could use the Synchro Monster Spirit. And that could negate Karibo's effect in the graveyard, and I can pop it with my alternative, which I can summon back again later, and then I can use Sage's effect to get a Blue Eyes and Blue Lethal. And I knew from the games before that I hadn't seen a single Spear Karibo, so I wasn't really worried about that. But yeah, a few people, I think, panic and think I was going to misplay, and I would say a lot of people didn't see the play there, because I only saw it myself about 100 seconds into the turn. Obviously, I had the cards in front of me, so
yeah. I didn't even think of it at first. I was like, "What?" I was like, "What is he gonna do?"
Well, it was funny because at this point, when this happened and it gets negated, Mythyard just starts yelling, "If he's got Sage, it's over! If he's got Sage, it's over!" You know.
Yeah. This was very exciting. And I was already 1-0 down. I felt in a pretty bad position. I thought I was going to go out this round, and then to pull this play out of thin air, I was like, wow! I was so hyped up.
Yeah, it's insane.
So
wow.
Yeah.
And he probably thought he had it too. He sets that wing Karibo, and he's like, "I'm good. I'm gonna OTK this guy next turn."
Like easy food for my Infinity deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blue Eyes served me perfectly. I won. I used it 3 games, and I won every single one of them. So I drew the nut every time. So yeah, Blue Eyes is my best deck, and especially because of that match.
Do you mind sharing your decks? Did you send them to Circus? I don't know.
I'll send them afterwards. That's all fine.
Okay, yeah.
Everyone.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Was Game 3 special at all?
It was Ritual Beast against Dark Magician. Neither of us opened that well. I don't think we have to go over it in depth.
We just got to go to the part where you win.
There was one play where I don't know if I played it optimally, but in my defense, it's very stressful playing when you know thousands of people are watching you and you're playing in the World Championships top 4.
There's only
so
2,468 people, and every second that number's going up like that. 2,471, 2,475. It just keeps going up and up. That's gotta be nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I did make a slight mistake when I bounced this Illusion Magic. I think there's probably an easier way to play around it, but actually won the game because of that mistake, because it meant that he felt confident enough to tribute this Illusion Magic to get the rod back from the graveyard, and I had a Phoenix Chain set for the rod. So it meant that I could just do my Ritual Beast combos and win the game next turn. If he didn't tribute here, I was in a lot of trouble. So
you're glad he did.
I like that about a lot of your games, right? Like a lot of your victories are like you were just playing safe, and then your opponent like decided to do something like, and you're like, oh, well,
yeah.
Now I win.
Twice my opponent, instead of playing safe, went aggressive, and I won because of it. So I would say that, as I mentioned in my Konami video, I'm quite a defensive player. I won't make a move unless I have to.
Okay.
which debatably came back to bite me in the final, but that is debatable, and we can go through that later.
That's debatable, he says, for all you people out there. And then from here, it looks like there's still like another 10 minutes in this game. No, it's almost done. Okay.
No, it's almost done. Yeah. And after this went through, and I managed to come back from 1-0 down, this was the most hype I got. I just couldn't believe I was in the final.
Ritual Beast versus Dark Magician matchup with Yami, because how much of a hindrance was it for you?
Huge. Yami is very annoying because it means that my Apelio can't even get over the Dark Magician cards. So I was very lucky that he didn't draw perfectly, because I would say Yami Dark Magician is just about the deck's worst matchup. So I really did fear the worst.
All right, so you end up winning this one, and then at this point, are you just like strutting around, just like, look at me, everybody, I'm Kernow King. Who's in the final? This guy. This guy's in the final. I mean, are you doing like that, or what are you doing?
I don't even know. I was just like I couldn't believe it. It didn't feel real. And I'd also found out as I won that Zay King had also won. And like I said, we prepped for the event. We were talking throughout the day, and we were joking about how like we were going to get knocked out straight away, so that we both somehow made it to the final.
Right.
It was just crazy. It was like, what has happened today? Is like someone out there somewhere really wanted us to do well, and willed it to happen, because it was the least expected thing. We sort of knew that we wouldn't have to play each other to the final if we both won all our games, but we never expected that to actually happen. So yeah, I was very, very happy, and that's an understatement. I just couldn't believe it.
We were watching, you would be playing like your game one, and everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, Zayd King 2-0 his opponent already," and you're like, "Oh, every single round."
All right, we're gonna get into the finals next, but we're gonna do that in the next installment of this interview with Kernow King. So make sure to check that out. And if you like this video, you know what to do. But make sure to get in our Discord. That's the most important thing, because that's where we host all our tournaments, and they're always free to play. So we'll see you in the next episode. I'm Circus. That's Kamel. That's Cairo.
Peace out.